everybody, welcome to another live with Kayla. So today, yes, so today we're doing solos.
You freaking muted me.
What did I do? Cringe. Okay, so basically, like I said before he interrupted me, we're gonna be playing some solos of Fortnite today. For like maybe like 1, 2, maybe 3 hours.
What?
And he might join us, you know. But first things first, we're gonna watch the FNCS little video.
I skipped that.
I'm gonna watch the video, so I'm gonna mute you real quick, okay?
Wow.
Whatever. Okay. And that was the FNCS party thing where people get to win. How much money is it? It's 3, I'm gonna say million if you win it. So I think it's available now, but I'm also not quite sure. Okay, we're back. Hello, Gavin. Oh yeah, it is. It's
3 million for FNCS. That's for World Cups.
That's what it said. That's what it said.
No, that's... No way. That has to be like... What? For FNCS? Alright, nice talk.
Can't talk from a popsicle in my mouth. But yeah, so back to life. I just bit my lip. Okay, so back to life. I will be playing some solos by myself in Fortnite. So that should be fun. And we're going to just, and if anyone wants to hop on, go ahead. Anybody want to play with me? I'll play. Probably not, but yeah, so this is a different timing. But yeah, just living life, just chilling out. I gotta do some more vlogging today, I think. I'm not quite sure what's happening today. I don't think anything. I might just do a Q&A with Donovan and Kendall tonight. Probably why I'm gonna go live early, cause why not? Oh. I remember it was like thinking to the bus driver for a certain amount of times, but I don't remember specifically what it said by that. Wait a second. Okay. Oh. Hopefully I don't lag. Oh, I couldn't even enter in the door. You saw that? Did you guys see that? I couldn't even enter in the door. I was lagging so hard. What the heck? This dude was just chilling behind me. Like, he's just like, yo, such is life, man. To be 100% honest, there's nothing much I can do with the lag, but I'm gonna try the best I can. But yeah, so how's everybody's day been? How are we doing? Just a little startup game. I wonder if there's like a way that I'm trying to think. Is there like a way that we don't have to be in the FNCS, but we can just watch it live? That would honestly be really cool. There we go. You saw that? I saw that was a break. Oh my, the lag. I probably got in here. They don't see me. Oh, he did see me. Dang, that's cringe. he's a primal. See, this is why primals suck. Okay, they've always been bad. Primal just were like just never really. Well, spectate. You can switch people too, but you know. Let me see, there's something we could do. There's like a possibility if we could. I'm wondering if like it's possible to like. I'm trying to think, right. Okay. So, this is the thing. Catch Nurse Mika. We are watching. Okay, this is a nice little watching thing. We're going to be watching them. We're just going to throw in our, never mind, or not. But you're going to watch them, and I'm going to be right back.
Great defensive stand. In the previous engagements, when I look at the bot, they have the potential to flank. And even with all the way towards the 3-point bomb, what it felt like. He went that way, looped back around, and got some big beams in the back. So, this is not an engagement that's going to be over just yet. You already mentioned Rito Roll already having issues. We saw as well, beating with David going down in the feed. That's been a battle that's been going back and forth the entire time. David has the upper advantage, but momentum is going to be kicked back to 1 point.
Yeah, why is this happening? Why is it different from before? You know, the last game we saw Danielson attack and go for an immediate fight and it was scrappy. It's because of the psychology around it. Look at the zone on the left. They have a zone at scrappy. They can really draw this out. And they baited Hydrus all day into this fight. They know they're not going anywhere. They know they basically are living in their head rent-free, defensively, and they're going to go for this fight no matter what to try to win it. They're down 6-1 as well. Because of this, with the 3 third stacks for Genesis, this fight will happen no matter what. And man, Vortex is getting antsy. They're already shooting shots down below Poncho. It really, right now, it seems like hands tapping are inside their heads.
The only time I've seen a disengagement here is
Okay, so that was crazy. But yeah, we're going to stay in party channel. Where's the big screen at? Yeah, over there. Okay. Okay, and here we are at the official big screen watching the FNCS fight. Time to take a seat and watch. Wow. Okay. Wow, we. Doesn't this look amazing? Ooh. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. This is so crazy. So it must have just started. This must have just started. Because it seems like there's 29 people out of 32. Oh, wait, hold up. Up. Let's hear what he has to say about this.
Happens when everything gets set to blaze. Wade's going to go ahead and bring back iDrop into the fight here. This is actually another big fight because look at the inventory that Joe, Stompy, and Shadow have. Joe has so much shield, but at the same time, Stompy's Trail has 4 peppers. And you know that's going to be a great win. Right, playing for height when the zone went down towards Holly Hedges Meadows, and they're blowing Storm Surge, and that's why they're taking this fight. But they open up that door and get greeted by some shots.
Dangerous for Joe. This man is a walking llama right now. If he gets taken out, golden tactical. So many. Yes, 3 still after using one. Like, you do not want to go down if you're Joe here.
You know the test to kill the deal, right? The feeling like they want to get down into that. They're so anxious. They're so HP thirsty. They want to get down there. Yeah, they want to get into that fight, but they're trying to slow down their ways. They're trying to slow down that temptation to get in there.
Stuff on both ends. People are definitely learning from yesterday. Every time a team went third party into a fight, didn't really come out with much and sometimes lost to teammates. So they're letting everyone just isolate and do their own thing. Like us, they're watching along and having a good time. Hope you guys are too. Endun is here now with Jaku as well. Crazy solo performances from Endun all across the season, and now he's looking to get into this fight close and personal as well. Some teams are still on that classic game plan of invade boxes, look for these aggressive tags, and most of them are also lower on the leaderboard. You were talking about it, Sancho. Elims are a dope way to make up, some of the mistakes from yesterday, but at the same time, going for Elims, even in this spot, is so risky.
Now we're taking a look at the rest of the board here as a Squeeze is being pressured by Kirachi here, and Angelo is crazy. They're nowhere to be found. They've been not having this tournament run that we've all expected them this entire season. Has been just more like a Hyde, or was it a Jekyll, situation for them. They're just not the same French trio that we saw last season and the previous season before that. And Two's Kirachi, they have an opportunity to close out that chapter here and lobbied that trio. I'm just flabbergasted, sir. Flabbergasted.
Red Rush Exteriors, Mappy coming through the first game, not that consistent, just 2 points. And gotta look to actually just, make things up. When these center zones, I feel like that's where they struggle the most. It's so hard to stay. Down a team. The leaderboard over There's trouble for him. His builds are still burning. Chapix, be careful. Flicks on the other side.
Through the fire, and I don't think he's going to have a 9th place finish. No way. Not this game, considering that you have Andretta here that's trying to take that first place spot. You have Lanouf as well. This is the team that kind of lands at risky reels. And look at that. No. Storm starts going down, and Thomas HC gets taken out. And Nas is left by himself. And Dretta is now pushing Slicks. And Lanouf is just trying to back up his teammate here. And Anas is in a big shamble situation here. Storm Surge still ticking through. And Savage is going to look to clean that up. Takes it up and cleans it up. Now he's going to push forward towards Chapix. And maybe Storm Surge is turned off. Yes. He could breathe for a moment.
Yeah. Nas Thomas and Flick, they were the last team that had basically, no surge tags whatsoever, no damage dealt on the map. That lightning was just striking them over and over. It took down Flick first. Thomas went away second, and Nas could still not find any damage and goes down as the last player for the threshold. Aloof 6 and Marine is not going to be here, looking to also go across. And Dretta is just shooting them with stink bows. No, that's actually another trio from the left side. Lanouf's having so much trouble moving in. Savage tries to relieve a little bit of pressure off from him because they're getting shot too. This is so tricky, and Zone is still moving.
Savage's weapon of choice in this tournament has been... They would get into a little bit of the Storm Surge. They would get like a couple spaces in and turn and just rain down stink bows. He was basically crop dusting the entire lobby, man. It was just stinky. He was getting a lot of 5 HP tags all over the place.
It's quiet now across the map too. Everyone's kind of stopped. That surge gets everyone really active, pushed into boxes. Now they're looking for position to play out the rest of the game. Savage basing up with Andretta and Refsguard low ground. I'm not sure what happened last game, but Refs and Savage were basically taken out. Andretta had to clutch. Tapix is still alive somewhere, it seems as. Hasn't gone down. Might even have the reboot cards. So it's going to be tough to revive everyone right here. The zone pulls left again, so Savage, Refsguard, and Andretta, it's just a pit stop on this road trip. They're not done yet.
What is done is Chapix taken out by the Storm. So now first place is out. That's going to be an opportunity for Resguard and Dretta and Savage to move up. Also third place, Flick Anas and Thomas Heishi, we saw in the previous engagement, taken out. Let's take a peek at Zone 4. It's going to be a battle at Risky Reels. And we've already seen some fireworks. We've already seen blockbuster hits already in this tournament run. I'm expecting another summer blockbuster hit here for Game 8.
Game 2 on day 2. This is very similar to what happened yesterday. Game 2 actually went to the Orchard, and it was this trio that ended up winning the game from low ground. They popped off. Queasy was on height, so maybe Queasy, Chulex, and Jerky might have some experience being high ground this game, but Andretta, Refsguard, Savage, this might not be where they drop. In terms of end game, this is their home. They know exactly how to navigate the zone. They're used to the roads, used to the rivers. They take everything to their advantage and make the space. There's a game to win. It has to be theirs. On height, though, it's not Trulix this time just yet. Nate, Tayson, and FourZR are looking to have some control of the game.
FourZR, Nate, and Tayson, 3 eliminations right now. They're another team that they can move up their leaderboard as well. In 4th place, one of those teams we've talked about, conservative play. Just get into the end game, just trying to get positioning, not taking too aggressive box fights. We all know that Tayson and FourZR and Nate, they're on the road to redemption. Tayson decided to switch out his teammates. He wanted a more serious trio mates in this back, someone who's going to grind with them. We're seeing the fruits of their labor right now, getting within striking distance of a championship. Nate, FourZR last season, of course, on the road for redemption, didn't really make it into the grand finals. We know that their finals is all about that. We thought they would be there. They weren't there. So this is going to be an opportunity, a chance to kind of turn their fate and let everybody know that they still got it.
Definitely the most improved trio of the entire season. They're still looking for shots. They're not exactly in zone all the way just yet, at least not that half of the base. Gonna be praying and hoping that it pulls their way, but we'll have chances to move no matter what happens. Wakey down below, there's trouble inside a little bit of those lower tier boxes, lower ground bases. Alpha having trouble, and then taken out by Noah Riley as well. These guys are popping, but there's so many angles they have to cover.
I'm surprised. Stacey brought back his teammate. Stacey? Pressure by Kirachi?
Yeah, it was a solo. I guess they brought everyone back. Yeah, okay.
Run. Okay, they're not.
Big reboot came through, but no matter, they were coming from the south side. They must be exactly where Noah Riley is too. Look at the zone. This is a huge rotation, and builds are burning at the same time. You cannot cross that ground. Noah Riley will have to go around. And Alexis Stacey, yeah, I guess the reboot came through in the Spire or Boney Burst. Yeah. They'll actually end up playing out the full game. That's clutch from X Squeeze. Meanwhile, near the river, in Safik and Siberia haven't moved just yet, and they have the longest and toughest rotation with a team beside them.
They've been coming from Coral Castle, and for them to actually finish day 1 in around 15th place is already a feat in itself. They solved the puzzle of Coral Castle. For the longest time in the FNCS, no trio has really found success. They found some success. Just to paint a picture, last season, Kenzel, alongside with Waking Deceptos, finished in 30th place coming out here. If Safik and Siberia could finish as a duo, that would be a great run, but look already what's happening. Noah, Riley, and Reason and the Deal have become a in the lobby, and now they're flying high in the sky.
You're telling me Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason
I've never heard
over 8 hours after sleeping learned patience? That's insane.
That's
they really want to win. They want to come back. Remember, Sancho, first and then down to 16th after 6 games. They're trying to climb their way back up their 10th place right now on the cumulative leaderboard. They're looking to rise higher and higher. Here is who is in their way: Trulex, Squeezy, and Jerky. They're uncomfortable right now. They're itchy. They're not used to being second height. They like being the... Yesterday in game 2, this team took control of height. They tried to pop off. They could not clinch the game. This time, they're tight in the takedown. It's not free for them. They have to get through Noah Riley, Vidil, and Reason.
How is Reason's trio going to be able to handle this? Trulix does have a pepper here. Are they going to go ahead there, look for the chop? We've seen Trulix's trio get chopped before. It chopped them out, and they were able to take height and the Victory Royale. So they're clashing again. Just look at this run, child.
Oh, Reason! I think he got hit by... Both from Trulex. They're screwing from the backside. There's so many teams moving over. This is huge for Trulex if he goes up. Yep, 173 damage above. It must have been a big shot, but they're still fighting. Queasy all the way up top. Meets over to Trulex. Look at how much this costs, Sancho. No shields in Trulex's inventory. Two of the teammates took 100 damage, and now they have height. A deja vu of day 1. Can they actually end up finishing the game, though?
They need the resources to hold on. Day 1, they couldn't hold on to height at all. They kept losing it here around zone 7, so they have to keep an eye on the backside. Let's see who's second from height. They actually have Andalix and Stacey, but they already lost a trio mate, so I don't know if they're going to take it here. So that focus has to be down on the low ground. Savage and Dreda, Refscar, they have an opportunity to get the Victory Royale. The question is, they're down the soft mat, so if they can find an impact refresher, get that frag, get back some builds and hard mats, they can walk away with their game 2 Victory Royale again.
Ooh, what a risky rotate. They go all the way in. No builds whatsoever. Here's the refresh opportunity. Big shots from Savage. It's huge. They do get one body. Fully eliminated. The Master back in the inventory. Savage, though, has none. Can't build any ramps. Can't do anything. Can't defend himself. Two's with the shots. He actually dodges them left and right. Savage is rolling, and Refsguard finds him. They're both going to be together. Refsguard must have the builds. They're an old mats. It's looking good. Hasten down in the feed. Savage, Refsguard, and Dreda. They're at home right now. This is their zone. They can win this game, but they need materials.
The materials are running low, but at height as well, the materials are running out. And Dreda Trio is in second place. 4ZR and Tayson in fourth place. They're making the way, but look, their materials is running low as well. Pressure coming from height pushes them down to the low ground. And it's a very dangerous layer to be on. 4ZR with 3 eliminations, 12 HP, knocks Mr. Savage, stops that trio right in their tracks. 4ZR on the track for redemption here is barely alive and is going to have to go to the medkit play and hopefully catch someone else on the backside of the sword.
Does he have it down to 2 HP? And yes, he picks it up. A stop sign on the highway of low ground. 4ZR keeps his chances alive in this game. Trulex, Jerky, and Queasy, though, on height. They're still alive, and they're looking real good. They might not have too many materials, but they have a chance to do a lot of pressure down. It's somewhat of a bounce-back zone, so they don't need to do too much over here. A chance for a breather. Their Elam's looking good, 2-5 so far. Floki, though, is still on low ground. A very dangerous trio to go head-to-head with in the endgame. Hadi alive, sniped down by Lanoof. So many different teams down below that are so good at these high-pressure situations. Trulex, Squeezy, and Jerky have a big task ahead of them, and another misthink, that might cost them a lot in the endgame.
This is where it gets sketchy for them as they make their way down. Neb's going down. Floki, you already said it. A very nightmarish trio to deal with here. Trulex has 2 floppers, 2 medkits. He's going to be the man that's going to be sitting on the high ground and sending him much pressure. Clement Deceptos are still there. Waze is already going in for the medkit. He's coming in for the backside of Storm. Waze against Kiriachi, gets knocked, and that's what happens when you do the flopper pay. You get the angles to send the beams on through. Floki, Deceptos, and Clement, they don't see Waze. Clement gets tagged in from the backside. Clement has to play some defense. Clement, hold on, and Clement responds with the elimination.
3v3, and this time Queasy can't choke. Trulex looking up high, almost out of materials as well. They have to try to win this game to redeem themselves from the mistakes yesterday. They want to make up the whole leaderboard as well from what we saw before and yesterday. 2 Trulex, Squeezy, Jerky are looking for the drop down. 2 different teams, big shots below. Deceptos down. It's a huge drop. Trulex is the insurance. He has to go below. I think it might be the last one left here. One more flopper, and these guys are still in zone. It's too early, but he has the angles. Trulex gets it all the way in the end game. The same zone from yesterday. They win it out. They're looking glorious today, Sancho.
They have to feel good. I know they probably look at the VODs and see like, yeah, man, we had hype this many times. If we just clean up a couple of things, we just hold on, we get a couple, be a little bit more aggressive, get some elims, stomp out the low ground, we could win more games. And they just got their first victory out here in day 2, Shayo.
Yeah, but 4ZR, so many low ground teams going down to that zone. It's uncharacteristic. That was a very, very tough game. We have to toss it back to the desk to break it down and show us what we miss.
Okay, all right, Queasy, Trulex, Jerky, High Ground Kings. You know, if you ever look high ground, if there's a team up there, it's them. That's it. It's going to be them forever. Boys, fantastic second game on the day. And I like how the casters kind of set this up. They're looking for that redemption arc, right? They're like, yesterday, I don't even care about yesterday. Today, we're going to show up big.
Yeah, and I think, like, that storyline is so true for, indeed, Reason Vidil No Riley as well, right? You got to think, winning that first game, and then it looked like it was going to be their game 2 again. Taking height so early in that 5th zone, they've committed so much to it, but again, it ended up being a little bit too much because Queasy, their team is so good at focusing high ground. We've seen this all through yesterday. I'm trying to think if there was a game where they haven't been on height ever in the history of them playing tournaments at this point.
Yeah, literally, the whole day of yesterday, it was literally like, how's the weather down there, boys? You know, it was them up above time and time again, but they weren't able to convert it into victory royales a lot of the time, and that was the real issue. You know, we know this is how they play. You look at Queasy and Trulex historically throughout multiple Fortnite seasons, they opt to play high ground. This season, right, Jerky's been a spark for them. You saw Jerky when they were taking height. He took the Germans down, right? No Riley, they wiped them out, you know what I'm saying? And from there, it was really great play, and they held out height, and they was able to convert into a win. More of these, and they might sneak into contention, guys. I'm calming down a bit, but it's possible. It's always possible.
Look, Fortnite's taught us, right? Anything is possible. It just depends on how you approach that end game. So,
Let's actually talk about this end game coming out of last game, game number 1, because we saw a little bit of a heel off that was a little bit of a flub.
Yeah, there was a little bit going on here. If you remember game back to 1, Thomas and Nas on high ground, very similar to this last game we watched with Queasy on high ground, setting up the heel potential here with Reason down below on the low ground. Now, one of the things we want to keep an eye out is, look, Thomas HC's just taken a tick to zone right here. If you notice, his HP has gone down to 90 at this point, right? No longer at 100. He has the medkit's inventory. This means he is able to actually use the medkit to stay alive a little bit longer in the zone. So notice he keeps going forward, but this is where a fatal mistake comes out, right? Next thing, you notice, again, after harvesting that, 2 builds. 2 builds remaining only. So this is also why Anas has to drop down, because he has absolutely 0 here. So he uses those 2 builds right here, and notice the positioning. He's at the back rather than being at the front here. Will this allow Reason on low ground not to be able to see him? But the issue is he's too close to the edge of the zone down at the bottom here, which means when he starts popping his medkit, I mean, we all saw how unfortunately it ended up going for him. So now moving down to Reason's perspective on low ground, this is a thing of beauty. This is what we love to see from a fighter like this. He gets an ass dropped into his box and hits a huge shot. But this edit that he's made on the right hand side here is beautiful, because he has a right hand peek on Anas who is on the other side, and Anas can't see him at all. And this manages to pick up a beautiful shot for him. And this, look, 5 HP and the elimination goes through. And then we said, playing on high ground with the medkit too far to the back with not enough time, and unfortunately he ends up being eliminated. But let's see how that last game also kind of transitioned onto these standings.
Gut wrenching finish there, Reese. Looking at the standings though, still on top of the board, Refsguard and Dre and Mr. Savage, we got to watch them a bit, and they do look like, you know, they're having a decent day, but nothing yet that is comparable to what they did yesterday. The key thing to note here though is Queasy, Trulix and Juriki shooting all the way up into second now, and they are closing that gap. Zeke, I hear the laugh, Zeke, but you know it. They are closing that gap. They are looking to try and become FNCS champions at the end of today.
Yeah, and it's looking like it could be not only them in the running, though, because Refsguard and Dress Savage, huge game for them. Forzy, Artase, and Nate, too. Look at the difference between first all the way down till third, and we can't count out Hen, Janice, Chapix, too. Look at how close all of these players are in the top 4 with 4 games remaining. And I must say, this is going to be an exciting 4 games going forward. Any of these teams right now are completely in the running.
This is only game 2. Look, you guys know that I stress. I feel the emotions. Don't do this to me. I mean, I'm down. Like, you know what? Let's keep making this a close competition to the very end. I'm super down. But once again, man, Queasy and his... Stop them from getting high ground. They're going to close out games if you let this happen. But again, there's all these other trios, man. It's literally like there's a feeding frenzy on EU right now. And it's just like whoever finds that window to attack, they're going to close it out. But okay, I know, Zeke, I know, it's game time. We're jumping back into the action. This is game number 3 on the day, aka 9 of the series. Let's get into all the action.
In EU right now, it's all about the win, Sancho, and it looks like Trulex, Queasy, Jerky, they're doing it the best.
You got to think about it. Aussie Antics on the NAE's broadcast, it says, you know, high ground gets games, low ground wins tournaments, but so far, Queasy, Trulix, and Jerky are flipping that table, putting it on the other side, and they're looking really solid here in day 2. As I mentioned, day 1, they had height all the time, and they almost were able to walk away with multiple victory royales. And they most likely decide, you know, we just got to cheer up the defense. We have to make sure the backside is being protected, because that's all the time they have been happening, is they would lose it on the high ground retake coming from a flank with just normal builds. And that's what's so fantastic about this meta, is that you're able to kind of hold on to height. There's no bouncers, there's no shockwaves, there's no caddy launcher to kind of come up in there to take it away from you. So we're seeing what they can do. Now, the question going forward, as we're going to get into the later stages of the game, as you do see Weeping Woods already, the save it battle versus Blaster is still continuing there, is who is going to change up their kind of strategy. And when they change the strategy, and this is where it gets kind of tricky here, Refsguard getting knocked in midair up the strategies, and they try to stop you from winning. We saw it in season 4 when Mongrels Trio was being all of a sudden got pushed out of Stark Industries. We saw it in season 5, right? All the teams landing on SETI to slow him down in day 1. So the question will be, looks like Elocrass and Hottie and Tripper are here to stop and slow down Andretta's trio.
They're hunting for Ref's guard too. I don't think Andretta's going to be able to go back and pick him up. He's hiding under a bridge though, so those free mats might be tough to find. For Hadi's trio, they're actually looking directly under it. They understand how far Refs can actually crawl. Meanwhile, another trio goes down on the other side of the map. I'd have to imagine that's either Retail Row or Craggy Cliffs. There's so many big fights going down in Retail between two ex-teammates as well. It's so, I would say, sad to watch because you want to make sure everyone here is having a good day overall. I believe that's Wolfie's fighting it out, or Slender actually fighting it out with Kiko on that side. But as we look at Craggy, it might be a two-man operation for this trio, although they're working really well to get to end game. That's always just clutch, clutch, clutch. We saw Savage try to do it in one of the games yesterday. We had Andretta in that last game survive as his trio went down and get all the placement towards the very end and at least one more moving zone. They're going to have to clutch again as a duo this time, starting off early.
I think the theme of day 2, Shayo, is patience. Patience is showing what patience could work out to, being consistent, just trying to work their way in, net a couple points here, 20, 30 points right now. They're averaging 25.88 points here, so they're doing really solid, keeping up the pace. And we have to say, will Noah Riley, as you see on the bottom right of your screen, will that patience hold on? It's going to be tested. Every time they see a box fight, every time they see anyone rotating out in the open, that is going to be like, do we box dive in? Do we go back to our old ways? Because, habits are hard to break. You know what they say? It says it takes 2 weeks to form a habit. Maybe here in the Fortnite world, it takes about 3 games. Maybe that's your new habit for the rest of the way.
It might be. I feel like the habits formed in this game are also centered around emotions. Like when it comes to this trio, they're looking real good so far. Meanwhile, though, Craggy Cliffs, it looks like Hen Janice Chapix actually end up going down starting off this game. It might be an off-spawn scenario. It might have been a third party completely. But, we're talking about emotions. They have to be emotional after that one. They're slowly falling behind these 3 teams, Jerky, Tayson, and Savage, game after game. They've now gone all the way down to 4th place. Used to be up top near 1st. Yeah, absolutely. Vortex Knight, I don't see High Chris just yet. That might have been the cost of the fight. Are going to be here, surviving for this game, and inhibiting Chapix and Janice for getting any points.
The mental of our defending FNCS champions will be tested. They've lost only 1 engagement yesterday, and every time they walked out of it, they got 2 victory royales with double-digit eliminations. The other times, they ran into Vidil. Vidil had a vendetta. Last season, Vidil's trio got taken out by Hen's trio in that $100,000 box fight. I will never forget that call. That was an intense situation, and that's what it all came down to last season. We're getting closer and closer to the final game here out of the 12. This is just a halfway point here in day 2, and we are already seeing all the Savage fans are High Chris fans right now, right? All the Hen fans are like the Tripper fans right now. They're all just hoping that the other can drop spot fights go the opposite way, and wow, this is the FNCS.
Think about the ramifications of that off spawn. Now we have a trio in 30th place who's allowed to end up playing this entire game, right? Usually boxed out by a higher team. In terms of High Chris, Vortex, and Knight being in 30th, being inside an end game, you might not be thinking totally of the comeback. You might be thinking about, taking more risks, going just completely for the win, not doing the most consistent and expected plays. It's going to be dangerous for everyone else. This game might be a lot more trickier to navigate.
If they could break through that threshold, we're talking about thousands of dollars. So it's worth them to throw everything at the wall, throw that spaghetti, see if it sticks, because we're talking about a couple commas and zeros every time you move up that leaderboard.
Yeah, but they're going to be working against the grain, right? For people like Kiriachi, like 4-0 we saw right now. You talked about it, Sancho. Patience. They're waiting. They have a game plan, and it's working. For trios like High Chris, like Vortex and Knight, they don't care about patience. This is the first time they get to play a game today, right? They're going to be going through fast. If there's a box fight they're not meant to take, they might just do it for the elims. That might change everything. We have a very dangerous trio playing this game.
And this trio right here, we haven't really shown a lot of love on the broadcast, but it just seems like every FNCS tournament, there's always a trio that, when they do that drone panning shot in game, like, oh, hey, look, Stormy, they're there, right? They're there.
Yeah.
You just keep repeating their name. They're still in this fight. And that's what their ride was in day 1. And they're still keeping up that same set of pace here. Right now, they're looking at 5th place. And with 4th place already down, they can move up the board even more.
I'll tell you why this trio doesn't get love. They're endgame mannequins. They don't do anything when they're alive. They don't get any elims. Usually when Kiriachi 2s are playing around, they survive. They make very smart rotations, maybe getting 1, 2, or 4 elims a game. The thing, though, I feel like, this might be a situation where mannequins come to life. Last game, 9 eliminations, 4th place. They're definitely switching things up. Their win condition today is eliminations. They're playing the right type of Fortnite game. They need to play the other side of it, though, and actually have an impact in their zones and lobby. And Nos is by himself too, walking around right now. But yeah, Kiriachi needs elims. They're doing it off the start of the day. Need to make sure they keep it up.
Mannequins Coming Alive is totally an 80s movie reference right then and there. And now we have Noah Riley, Reason, and Vidil. More aggressive, being more that ruthless trio.
Good, and they're happy when they're pushing teams, and it works out. When that doesn't happen, you start to get negative emotions associated with that push, right? Now today, they're playing patience, and they're getting points. You get points, you're happy. They're just riding those emotions, and now the patience is coming naturally. So very emotional team. What they're doing is making them very, very happy. They know it's working. They're getting points. They're going to keep doing it.
They're going to the gym. This is like their second week. They're seeing the abs kind of pop out a little bit. They're like, okay, maybe I'll stick with this new lifestyle, and at the same time, I'll stick with this diet. But these guys, they love to eat, and right now they're just holding on. They're just, they're calorie deficient. They're making sure they're leaning out, because when they get lean, there are days.
Also like fighting a lot, but the patience sometimes comes at an offbeat, like a weird time. Sometimes too patient when they should be aggressive. They're still learning that type of game, and they're actually very similar, I would say, to Vidil, O'Reilly, and Reason when it comes to approaching mid and end game. But we'll see. They're kind of in the same spot. Maybe they can also bring it up. 7th place, rolling into. They're looking really good throughout the day. The aggression hasn't been turned on completely, but they're very consistent at just making games. 2/3 back-to-back from Nebs, Bubak, and Waze rolling through actually gets them all the way into the top 10. If they can get another third, lucky number 3 for this trio. They're looking real good. Meanwhile, 4-0 Nate, Tayson, there's so much to talk about with these guys. Top 3 right now. Lots of doubts in the preseason, lots of doubts while we were watching them from qualifiers to heats. They fixed everything. And once again, they're surviving. I have their win condition just kind of written down, as we talked about it last game a little bit as well, Sancho, for the tournament. They need to start owning these games, making it their own. What are the names we've been talking about in the last few games? We said Trulix a lot. We said Savage. We're talking about Hen. It feels like, once again, 4-0, Tayson, and Nate are paint on the wall. Definitely there, but they're not the talk of the town so far. They need to be that way. They need to make these flashy plays if they want to win this tournament.
They can do it. 22 elims in the heat stage.
Yeah.
It's in there. It's in there. It's in there. Mappy, Red Rush, Asterios, not kind of having the same success that they had in the previous day, slowly slipping out of the top 3, and right now coming in 8th, Shayo. It's just right now their style is about playing center. So they're coming out of the Cami split. Now Andreas, the Savage, and Rescard now back in full force. They were able to get the reboot card and bring them back their trio mates. So that's looking good. It's slowing down, though. So they may not have strong weapons, or they may not have all the mats and resources. So expect this trio to be a little bit more aggressive. Marine is now sending in the Sting Post to open up their rotation to slow down the peak. And so what you got to do, man, you got to send in those stink bows just to open up a little bit. That's going to give the signal for Refsguard and Jordan Savage to rotate through to Lazy Lake, which has been a battleground in this tournament.
These guys have to have extra health or something. They survived so many crazy situations. Refsguard going down off spawn. They have to travel to get the reboot. They do it in enough time and then have a chance to actually have some type of loadout. You're right, Sancho, it's kind of weak, but what does this mean for Refsguard being rebooted? This trio allowed to play this game. They're in first, Sancho, right? With them alive, full forces. This means Queasy, Trulex, and Jerky, they have a tough time, kind of taking hold of this game. They're on screen right now, too. This is perfect. They're going to have a tough time kind of taking over first if that team's alive. Same thing for 4-0, Nate, and Tayson. They'll have a tough time if Savage is alive. It might even look like Trulex, Queasy, and Jerky might not stay this way the entire game. Snazy's here. This is Southside, and Alexa's home. It's been invaded by multiple teams. And now they're looking to just fight one off for the moment. I'm not sure how far this fight will go, but you never know right now. These things are still being thrown in.
This is a wrestling match that's getting sweaty and is getting... newly formed right now. Trulix, of course, playing last season with Pink and Stormy, or I believe it was Stompy. They had a fantastic run. Trulix arming that RPG. Jerky and Queasy, of course, forming with their respective trios here. Queasy playing with Roscoe and Paco. And wow, I mean, for them to be able to hold on right now, look at this. There's a 3-trio kind of standoff right now with Fast Roxy, Ardit, and Pizza coming from Misty. And then you have this team from Camp Cod. You know, Snaze's trio, they're going to want this fight because they're low on Storm Surge. Because you come from Camp Cod, you know this is your opportunity to get those tags in.
Wow, Queasy's still finding a way in these bases with 2 teams around them. Shoot off on another way far away on a hill. That's crazy. That's huge for the tags as well. And man, I wish Ardit, Pizza, and Fast Roki had a theme song. It feels like every the ones to cause chaos every single time, whether it's at Lazy Lake, now it's down below at Camp Cod. I always have some type of song playing in my head when I see Fast Roki on screen. They just make things crazy.
It's basically, that's a third party, right? That is what they're,